in Chamonix to run arguably the most famous trail in the world, the Tour du Mont Blanc, aka the TMB. About a year ago, my good friend Kevin asked if I'd join him on this adventure. I didn't know much about the TMB, but I was about to learn why this route is so iconic and beloved by trail runners and truckers, but also that this is a challenge that will bring the best and maybe at times the worst out of you. This is the story of our first Tour du Mont Blanc, 8 days around the Mont Blanc massif, on foot, mostly running, sometimes hiking, always climbing. We flew from Denver to Geneva, Switzerland, and then caught a shuttle to Chamonix, France. We arrived to our hotel and found Chamonix to be stuck in a cold, wet, and rainy weather pattern. We couldn't see much of the renowned mountains or the Mont Blanc massif as they were socked in under thick cloud cover. We decided to get out and explore Chamonix and immerse ourselves in the French culture. Chamonix is credited as the birthplace of alpinism, and since the 18th century, adventurers, climbers, and dreamers have been drawn here, chasing the limits of what's possible in the high mountains. Today, mountain culture runs deep, and it is core to the identity of Chamonix, its residents, and its visitors.
All right, we're in Chamonix, doing a little shakeout run after some tough travel. I'm feeling it. Kevin's moving a little bit better, but beautiful creek path. It's kind of like the boulder, the French boulder here. We're going through town, so just shaking out the legs and testing out some gear. Wee.
The town was buzzing with excitement, and we initially timed our adventure to finish on the day the UTMB race was to start. The Tour du Mont Blanc is one of the most iconic long-distance routes in the world. It circles the Mont Blanc massif and moves through 3 countries, France, Italy, and Switzerland. Originally forged by shepherds and traders, it became a formal trekking route in the early 20th century as mountaineers and hikers sought a way to experience the beauty of the Alps without summiting its highest peaks. Depending on the variants you choose, it's roughly 170 kilometers or 105.63 miles and about 33,000 feet of climbing. Our itinerary was built for trail running with big days. We'd be going anti-clockwise, at least that's what they say in Europe, around the Mont Blanc massif, crossing into 3 countries, all on foot, before returning back to Chamonix 8 days later.
This is Kevin Menzie reporting. We're going to be doing a reading of the first day of our Tour du Mont Blanc run. Okay, here we go. All right. Day 1, August 22nd. Chamonix to Les Contamines. Is that how you say it? Who knows? After breakfast in Chamonix, you'll get an early start on the road to the first day of your Tour du Mont Blanc. Parentheses TMB. Okay. Adventure. On the way, you'll pass farms selling goat cheese, old chapels, and amazing views contrasted against the Bayonnais Glacier, which we can't see right now. It's that way. This is a shorter day on the trails to get acclimated to the altitude and terrain of the tour. Your hut for the evening is an 18th century farm fully renovated in 2009. On the way, you'll pass through the Réserve Naturelle de Contamine-Montjoie, crossing streams and meadows in the idyllic part of the tour. Enjoy dinner conveniently from your refuge. The end.
We got our first taste of Savoyard cooking, hearty alpine cuisine centered on cheese, potatoes, and cured meats, with a traditional dinner of raclette and wine, and went to bed excited for the first day of our Tour du Mont Blanc adventure. Day 1 is the acclimation day, which is funny because it is still 16 miles and over 4,000 feet of climbing and over 4,000 feet of descent. After we leave Chamonix, we will pass through La Houche and then climb up and over and drop into Les Contamines for the night. Day 1, we're waiting here. We had a little bit of a setback. Kevin's got a little itchy throat, so we're just waiting for the pharmacy here to open up, and once we do that, we'll get going. But it's a beautiful day. Looks like maybe a break in the weather here, so optimistic. Big day ahead. Day one, let's do it.
Woo, let's do it.
Let's do it. We've got our first view of Mont Blanc here. I think I'm framed appropriately there. But it's been socked in all day, or all since we've been here, so I think that's it right there. All right, we're going not up and over that, but we're a lot of climbing today.
All right, we're off. We've got some magnificent views of Mont Blanc in the background. After 2 rainy days, it's cleared. Nice little path, I think, for a couple miles, and then up and over. Just had a nice about 6 mile warm up through town. Pretty cool. I'm distracted by Frenchmen on a little pickup here, but pretty cool warm up. We're now kind of at the start of what I think is the trail. We're going to La Fouille at 1,010 meters. That's where we're going for today, and we're gonna just go straight up, I guess, up these stairs. This is the first, I guess, part of the trail. Well, we got the first real climb of the TMB here. We're basically going up a ski resort. You can see this run I'm on. It's been straight up for, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour. And I think I'm sort of close to the top, but I'm not sure. It is steep and just climbing up. Hopefully at the top will be a refuge. I can get a snack and rest a little bit. Kevin, way up there, he blew past me. All right, check back in, but it is beautiful. It's just steep.
We left Chamonix and immediately started learning the pattern that defines this route. The TMB is not a single climb and then a long cruise. It is a huge climb, descend, and lose all that day's vert, repeat, every day. One of the special things about the TMB is that all along the route are mountain huts called refuges or refugios that seem to pop out of nowhere. They are a great place to fuel up with sandwiches, cakes, coffee, or rejuvenating Coca-Cola. Many of these refuges also have beds for travelers to overnight. We ran through the Cantamine Mougiois Nature Reserve, crossed streams and meadows, and started settling into the rhythm of the TMB. And then we reached our first refuge. There was a sign warning about bedbugs that immediately got into my head, but what we learned later is that this was actually the nicest refuge we stayed in all week. It was a great way to start. All right, this is our first refugio. It's pretty sweet. We're here in La Cantamine, I think it is. And you come in, and it's really nice. We got kind of hooked up. We got a bathroom here, shower. There's a washer dryer. There's another bathroom and shower over here. A couple of rooms. There's some other travelers in there. I think there might be some rooms up there, but Kevin and I, are in here. And there's Kevin. We got lucky so far. It might just be the two of us, so we might get roommates, but hope not. They're very concerned about bed bugs here, so they gave us these little bins here, which are a little different. They just told us not to bring in any sleeping bag liners or sleeping bags, so we had to put everything in the bin and then bring it in the room, which, to be honest, I don't really know what that does. So, and then we've got over here, nice sitting area. You can read. Take a little break. Pretty cool. And then fresh water, and then the view out the window. Day 2 is shorter in miles, but certainly no rest day. We start in Les Cantamines up to the Col du Baume with a descent down into Les Chapeaux. Total mileage for the day is about 11.2 miles with 4,000 feet of elevation gain and giving 3,000 of that gain right back. This is where the route starts to feel truly alpine. All right, it's morning of day 2. We're talking about the zombie spiders. We are getting ready. We just had breakfast, kind of moving slow, but I think we have that luxury because we move fast. So we are going to go over to Les Chapeaux.
So fast.
So fast. Faster than like if we had giant packs. And so we're going to go do that and see what the day brings.
legs. Report back in a second. Beautiful lunch spot, although this trail is a little bit like I-70. A lot of trekkers.
I'm only having one egg because one egg is enough.
Well, I made it about a bite and a half of my egg, so not even gonna claim bite and a half yet because I'm still chewing it. Take a break from the picnic for a moment.
Since it's such a popular route, you're going to be sharing the trail with other runners and trekkers. This isn't about constant solitude, but that's sort of the point. Part of the adventure is all the people you meet from all over the world. But don't worry, there are plenty of areas to get separation and feel like you have the trail all to yourself. We designed our trip to be 100% on foot, but some doing the route would shuttle to trailheads, cut difficult sections via cable car, or stay exclusively in nice hotels, which requires a shuttle to and from the trailheads. Whatever your preference, you can build a TMB itinerary that suits your tastes. We elected to stay almost exclusively in the refuges as that was the TMB experience we were looking for. We will be staying in refuges, or refugios, depending on what country you're in, at the end of each day and then resume our run each morning. We elected to purchase an unguided package from a guide service, which is exactly what it sounds like. All our refuges and accommodations were booked for us, and we were provided an itinerary with GPS files of our route. We also had luggage porter service that moved our bags to the next night's lodging. This allowed us to move light and fast, yet have fresh clothes and some luxury items at the end of each day. And just when we really needed a rest and some fuel, the TMB provides an alpine oasis. We thought we heard music, but wondered if we were getting loopy from the fatigue when we stumbled right up on someone playing the accordion in the alpine. The drill is refill water, eat something, and reset your brain. Take in the moment. We rested a bit and tried French Coke before running downhill all the way to our night's accommodation in Lake Chapeau. After arriving in Lake Chapeau, we took a shower, had a beer, and I was able to relax and recover thanks to one of my luxury items I had in my bag. You're only allowed 30 pounds, and they are very strict on the weight. 30 pounds is a lot, and you shouldn't have any problems. I found myself right at that limit with this massage gun, plus a bunch of camera gear, but my bag got lighter as I consumed a good portion of gels and hydration powder I brought along as well. Day 3 starts with a climb out of Les Chapeaux through the Vallée des Glaciers. At the top is our first border crossing from France into Italy at the Col de la Seine. There is no dramatic checkpoint, just a sign, a ridge, and suddenly you're in a new country. Then a long descent into the fashionable town of Courmayeur, Italy. Today's route is about 18.5 miles with 4,700 feet of climbing and 5,200 feet of descent.
All right, day 3, we're leaving the Nova. We're heading over to Courmayeur. Big day. Had a good time at the Nova. Good refugio. Beautiful morning. Got a big day, about 18 miles today, so I'm a little nervous. I'm sore. My quads are so sore. I'm a little stiff, but other than that, my body feels great. It's just my quads. And I imagine we've got about a 5 or 6 mile just trot on flat-ish ground before we get to the trailhead.
After a morning of climbing, we summited across the border into Italy. This is one of the highlights of the TMB, and we were lucky to have a perfect day. After getting a bite to eat and admiring the views, we continued towards Courmayeur. There's no big signage or even border control here, just a few understated markers between the two countries.
All right. Right now I'm in France, walking into Italy. Ciao. Oh my God, incredible. Look at this valley. Oh, Italia.
We dropped into Italy and stopped at Refugio Elisabetta. This is one of those places where the view feels unreal. It sits out on a spur overlooking the valley, and it might have been one of my favorite stops of the entire trip. Cappuccino in the Italian Alps, hard to beat. Refuges on the trail do have food, but we mainly stuck to cake and coffee at those. Stopping for a picnic lunch at a scenic overlook, often gazing at the Mont Blanc massif, was always a highlight of my day. The refuges, or refugios, will pack you a picnic lunch for a few euros, which we did every day. Even though the picnic lunches were the you get what you get variety, they were always delicious. Except one. More on that later. We made our final descent into Courmayeur. It is chic, polished, and alive. You can feel the shift from rugged mountain route to Italian mountain town. And after such a big day, I hurt everywhere. I was tired and very thankful to be sleeping in a hotel bed with a hotel shower. Rest day. When I first saw it on the itinerary back in Colorado, I thought, I don't need a rest day. But after 3 days on the TMB, we absolutely needed it. We slept in and then off to the one small laundromat in town where we made some new friends while waiting for the machines to free up. We headed down valley to the coolest spa where we got massages, lounged in robes, and sunned with a bunch of Italians. This is my kind of recovery. It's a small sample size, but from what I can tell, it's pretty great to be an Italian in the Alps. After the refresh and a good dinner of Italian pizza and wine, we were ready to hit the trail the next morning. Day 5 is one of the longest and most challenging days of the trip. We continue anti-clockwise around the Mont Blanc massif. 18 miles, almost 6,000 feet of climbing and descending, and a border crossing into Switzerland over the Grand Col Ferret.
All right, we just had a rest day in Courmayeur and we are climbing out now, just kind of getting going. Day 5, big day, our biggest day of the trip. At least by mileage and elevation combos. Heading from Courmayeur to Le Fouilly, Switzerland. So we'll be crossing over into Switzerland at some point today, but prepping for some big efforts. Legs feeling pretty good after the old Courmayeur spa session.
You're ready.
This climb out of Courmayeur is brutal. This is the first little flat section I've had, and catch my breath. It's straight up. It's like steps going up. You'll see in a second. That's where we came from, all the way down there, Courmayeur. So just been climbing up steadily, and as is with most of these climbs on the TMB, it's just to the top. You gotta get to the mountain pass and get up and over. So I'm just one foot in front of the other, getting a good rhythm, and just keep moving.
Throughout our tour, we saw crews setting up for the upcoming UTMB race. It was incredible to see how much goes into a major, high-elevation trail race like this, using helicopters to drop supplies at the mountain passes and peaks.
Woo! Oh geez, almost just ran off the side of the mountain.
This day was arguably full of the best running. Smooth, buttery single track combined with some of the best scenery. This is the Tour du Mont Blanc I pictured a year ago when Kevin suggested we take on this adventure. Beautiful single track, huge views, and that feeling of moving through a landscape that does not end.
Well, that was a solid effort. Crossing over to Switzerland. Second border, third country of the trip. Just crossed into Switzerland border from Italy. A big climb, it was amazing. Switzerland's that way. Kevin Menzi and Italy are that way.
And again, the border is quiet. No booth, no line, just a sign and the realization that you just ran from one country into another.
Got the sheep grazing. And this is cool. This is a UTMB helicopter drop. So they drop all the supplies via helicopter. We've seen a couple of them going over. But yeah, this is a checkpoint, it looks like, which is crazy. Oh, jeez.
We concluded the day with a nice run downhill, a quick ice cream stop at a local dairy farm, to our refuge in Lafouille, Switzerland. That night, we were tired in a satisfying way, the kind of tired you earn. Day 6 is a shorter day and a different kind of scenery. We leave Lafouille and descend from high mountains into forested valleys, pass through Swiss villages, and start seeing that classic Switzerland look. Chalets, barns, flowers. Our destination is just past Champex Lac, a relaxing lakeside town. Distance is approximately 10.5 miles with 2,100 feet of climbing and 3,000 feet of descent. This is the dining area of a typical refuge. Group tables, small bar, perfect refuge for weary travelers. All right, just spent the night outside Lafouille, Switzerland. We are leaving our refuge and have a relatively short day today. We are heading, I'm not even sure where we're heading, but we're going to be in Switzerland still. We're heading to a little lakeside town, and this is day 6, I think, of the tour. Day 5 of running and whatnot. What do you think, Kevin?
I can smell the cows.
Except there's not cows on this one. That's the next one.
Which is excited.
Kevin's into cows. All right, let's go. There were a few spots where the trail builders basically said, pay attention. A little exposure, a hand chain, and a reminder that even on a short day, this route still demands respect.
Smells like bovine.
And right then, when you are craving something sweet, there's a crepe stand in the middle of the TMB. Nutella and banana. Day 7 begins near Champax Lac. We continue our route for about 16.8 miles. Along the way is a stop at the Bovine Alp for cake and refreshments, and is one of those places where the views make you forget you feel terrible, at least for a minute. The day calls for climbing 5,900 feet and descending 6,000 feet to our refuge at the Gîte Refuge La Mouline in Argentière, France.
Well, you know, can't have a good adventure without some obstacles. So things were going really well, but I think we got into some bad mayo on our picnic that we got from the refuge yesterday. And so Kevin and I, we've been in bed. Let's just say it's coming out every which way. So I think we feel decent about it, and I think what we're going to do is go ahead and push on and see if we can just walk out today's segment, although it's a pretty big segment. So oh man, rough night. Okay, well, it's an adventure.
All right, we're getting ready to leave. This is day 7 of 8. Last night was really rough. I think Kevin and I got into some bad mayo, we think, on our picnic that the refuge made for us, and had some sort of food poisoning. So I started yesterday around right after lunch. I started puking and other things, and spent the whole afternoon in bed, which was fine because we were done for the day, so that kind of worked out timing wise. And then Kevin got in late into the night, so we're going to see what we can do here in terms of having the energy and the ability to do another big day, and we will just take it slow and knock it out. We really want to get over into cross back into the French border tonight and to our refuge, so I think we're just going to take it easy and see if we can make it. There are some exit points if we have to bail out at some point. And this is where the trip got real. We woke up the next morning with me still feeling awful and Kevin having become quite ill during the night. We huddled to discuss our options. We had the conversation you have on trips like this. Do we stop or do we continue? We were close enough that quitting felt almost worse than moving forward, so we pushed on. The route climbs up into the high alpine pastures of Bovine. This was my first day. My filming started to fall apart a little because when you are sick, priorities get simple. Keep moving, do not do anything stupid, and find the next toilet. Get to the next bed. As we dropped into Trient, we intersected the UTMB OCC race. Watching those runners fly past us was the exact jolt we needed. It reminded us that this loop is not just a scenic trail run or hike, it is also the backbone of one of the biggest trail running events in the world. After Trient, you're supposed to face the last big climb of the day, up the Col de Balme, where you cross back into France. We were so weak and having trouble moving that we called a car to take us from Trient to our refuge. It was disappointing to miss this piece of the route, but we deemed it unsafe and figured it was our best option. We made it to our gîte in Argentière, and it felt like surviving this day was a win in itself. Day 8, our final day. Argentière to Chamonix to complete the loop. This is a 9-mile route with 3,800 feet of climbing and 4,500 feet of descent. Along the way to the highest point on the route is the option to ascend using the famous ladders of La T-Aubin. The route continues through the ski resort of Chamonix and then drops right back into town. All right, day 8, day 7 of running. We're still gripped a little bit by the food poisoning, so you know, it's been tough. We're just grinding in and out. You do what you can do. We're supposed to climb up high above Chamonix today and descend down in, but we might augment that plan a little bit. We'll just have to see. Try to keep stay healthy and get it done.
So we're climbing up to make the ascent and then the drop into Chamonix, and just depleted, worked. Every step is like 1,000 pounds, so just doing our best, getting up there.
Still not fully healthy, but the weather started to clear in that dramatic Alps way where fog lifts and the mountains finally show themselves. Still feeling nauseous and weak, there wasn't much running happening on this day.
All right, we're approaching the world famous ladders. Crazy one.
Still not wanting to miss any of this experience, we opted for the ladders section. La tête au vent. It's steep and exposed. It demands full attention. On a normal day, it's pretty intense. And on this day, with both of us feeling rough, it was the biggest mental moment of the trip. We were seriously worried about fainting or passing out on the way up. So, we made an agreement, no hero moves, no rushing, just one careful step at a time. You can tell by my heavy breathing, this wasn't easy, but it was incredibly beautiful and just one more unique feature of the Tour du Mont Blanc. And at the top, the trail opens up and you get these huge views across the Mont Blanc range. After catching our breath, we continued toward Chamonix.
That was super
and right
cool.
in the middle of the trail, we came across, we ran through this beautiful cafe. I was starting to get used to sights like this on the TMB, but even this perfect little cafe, where the TMB crossed over its patio, caught me by surprise. The trail literally runs through it. And then, just like that, we're back in Chamonix. Same streets, same town, totally different feeling. 8 days earlier, we arrived tired and slightly clueless. Now we arrived with that quiet satisfaction you only get from finishing something that shows you something you previously didn't know about yourself.
All right, we just finished.
Yeah!
That was awesome. Now you can see UTMB is going on and it's nuts out here in Chamonix. We're gonna go get our bags, clean up, and I don't know, probably drink a beer.
We didn't have much time. We cleaned up and got ready to watch the real athletes of TMB as the Ultra Tour du Mont Blanc 100-mile race was gearing up to begin. The entire town of Chamonix was electric and in full support of these trail runners, and we couldn't believe it. We spent the rest of the evening and the next day engrossed in the race, alternating between following the live stream and walking around town when the runners were finishing. Cheering on the best trail runners in the world on one of the world's most challenging ultra courses was the perfect ending to an adventure of a lifetime. One that changed me over the course of 8 days. Whoever I was when I arrived in Chamonix, I was a different person after. Better somehow. Stomach still a little queasy, but the memories of running the TMB and the shared experiences will be with me forever. When I came here, I thought this might be a one-time adventure. Now, I'm already plotting on how to come back.